Hello and welcome to episode 11, bro, of the Null Set. Oh, he wants to go. Okay, hold on. Panda wants down. Okay, there he goes. Episode 11 of the Null Sector podcast. Boys, we're back. We're back. Home of the vibe, shelter of the baseline enthusiasts, and hangout session for just about everybody in between. I am Null, also known as Jake, and let's fucking chill, dude. Pretty sick. Pretty sick. What do you guys think? We are at episode 11. We just came back from a break, and would you look at that? We got some new shit going on. We got a new intro. I spent some time on that for a while now. Can you see my Pac-Man light back there? There's a whole lot that's changed for those of you that are video viewers. But man, I am slowly honing this shit in to get it better and better. But this time we're actually getting there. So we had the new intro. There's a couple more things that I could show you guys. We'll get to it. But wow, it's been a while. I was on a little bit of a vacation. I took some time off. So we skipped a podcast episode and we waited just about the full amount of time, I think. So that means it's been about a month since our last episode. So that means we gotta get on to things. We have a little bit of a new all of this is new, and I'll explain it in a minute, but everything is new today. So I'm going to go over our topics just quickly at the beginning. I'm going to start doing that as well. That's a new thing that we're doing. It's going to be more polished next time, but you know, we're starting, and I'll explain all this in a second. So our topics for today, we got a lot to talk about. Number one, we got the Multiversus EDM remix. We're going to talk about that. YouTube growth, been studying a lot of stuff, got a lot to say. And then I'm working on my mechanic skills, possibly regarding a 2010 Prius, but we'll talk about that. So first and foremost, let's get into it before I say too much. It's time for small talk update, baby. We did it, chat. Small talk update. Also, you like my iced coffee? You probably can't. No, you can't hear anything, but look at it. Homemade iced coffee. Also, I would just like to point out the camera. We are like leaps and bounds better visually than we were ever before in this podcast. Look how roomy and nice orange aura. Got our backlight in the background, which looks great. We got our Pac-Man. I'm loving this new camera setup. But yeah, look at this. Oh, and here, dude, I got so much to talk about it. Look at this. It's gonna autofocus as I get it closer. Panda bear alert, Mr. Bear. Panda. Hi, buddy. Hi. Oh. Little baby boy in the podcast next to Pac-Man. What a good boy. You sit? Oh, how aesthetic. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Anyway, watch this. It's going to focus. As I get it closer, it's going to pull focus. Pull focus. Ooh. Fancy. Wow, look at that. And then, what the fuck is up, dude? Yeah, I'm liking this. Everything about this is so much better than it was a month ago. But let's get into it. But anyway, homemade iced coffee. It's pretty good. Literally, we just take the super cheap blue Maxwell giant tubs of ground coffee, and we put it in some coffee. Well, they're specifically bought from Amazon. They're like a big pack of coffee filter bags for a cold brew. We fill one or two of those bitches up, throw it in a pitcher with some water, and we leave it in the fridge for 15 hours. And then we have cold brew. Put some almond milk in it and some brown sugar today because I'm out of normal sugar. Little shots of vanilla syrup, and it's pretty good. It's pretty fucking good. Anyway, me drinking iced coffee at 6:36 p.m., but it's the weekend, and I have the next 2 days off, so it's okay. Gonna stay up, work on a lot of shit. Small talk. Hello, friends. It's been a minute. New podcast intro, as you saw. That was pretty fucking cool. New recording method. So that and everything that's going on with the setup, we're going to talk about in just a second in the content update. We'll get to that. Other small talk. I'm getting a new phone. I can't hold up my current one because it's the camera right now. That is my phone. That's why I can do this, and it actually looks pretty good. I mean, look at that. I mean, for those of you who can't see, I have my hand right up to my camera, and it's like almost a macro shot of my palm. It looks so fucking good. And this isn't even a good camera. This is a S22 base model camera setup, which I'm sure nowadays is still pretty good. Most Samsung cameras, most phone cameras in general are pretty good now. But man, the upgrade it's crazy because this is a iPhone 12. It may even be the Pro Max or whatever they call them. I'm not extremely familiar, but this is iPhone 11 or 12. I don't know which. There's a camera set up on the back. Yes, ignore the cracks. I'm not impressed with this fucking thing. Especially for production of content. I don't have the Apple ecosystem, and trying to record on this has been horrible. It runs out of space. The HDR settings don't carry over to your actual files once you pull them off. That's proprietary to Apple, so that fucking sucks. And I couldn't see my screen. I could not see what I was recording on this. So in the new video that I'm working on for the channel, half of it was out of focus, and then it kept dying. It kept running out of space. It's just all around bad. It has been a night and day experience so far, swapping this thing out for a Samsung phone as a camera. This is, I wish I could show you. I can't. I'll describe it in a second. But this is going to be my permanent setup right now for anything related to my content because it looks so fucking good. So, got a new phone. Getting a new phone. A while back, I was using a flip phone. I don't have it on me. Hold on. Let me grab it. One second. Just sit tight, boys. I'm back. Sorry for the silence. I'll explain also in a second why I didn't edit that out. Lots to explain. So this guy right here, this Nokia, look at that feller. God, look at this. It's so clean. Oh, hey, you can kind of see in the reflection, you can kind of see the Samsung there. I think this bitch is turned off. It is, but literally just Nokia track phone, flip phone bullshit. I've been using this every day at work for about a month, maybe a little bit longer. It's okay, but it's a flip phone in 20, almost, I mean, it's still 2024, but shit. It's not great. It's not great. Anyway, so I had me and phones just don't work well together apparently, and it's annoying. I had a Samsung Galaxy 8 Plus for a long time. I liked it a lot, but it got old. So I swapped that out originally I had an iPhone 4, swapped that out for the S8 Plus. That got old. Swapped it out for the S22 that is currently our recording camera. That's a horrible experience that I've talked about before. Basically got scammed by AT&T representative directly, so that was great, and then ghosted by them. So that was super cool. Biggest mistake ever. Fuck base model S22. Honestly, fuck all new phones. I probably am sounding old saying that, but all of them are ass. They're horrible. Go back to like S10 Plus era, which is, my new phone is very close to that era. So much better, like so much better. So I eventually got an S10 Plus, which I had always wanted ever since I had an S8 Plus. When the S22 was shit and I basically got scammed, I said, fuck that. S10 Plus, honestly loved it. Like a night and day difference immediately. I love them. I love them. I like the bigger phones too. I have a history of getting tons and tons and tons of new phone numbers because I am poor and I almost always go with Mint Mobile. And then at some point something happens, my phone breaks or something. And I have to save up to get another one. So I eventually lose that number, I have to get a new one. So it's a whole running meme with me and my family and friends. But I have my S10 Plus at work, which I do a very like physical labor job in like a big factory environment for my day job. And I'm very protective of my phone so that it doesn't get damaged. It never comes out of my pocket unless it has to. I'm in the bathroom, pull it out of my pocket, massive fucking crack across the entire screen, all the way extending out to the glass around the back, massive fucking crack. And it's toast. It's toast. More than the screen is damaged. It barely works. The digitizer still worked. It could feel my fingerprints, but something wasn't right. The screen was basically didn't work at all. So that was fun. I still don't know how it happened. I think it was like a pressure thing. Too much pressure against my jeans in my pocket. Maybe I hit something, I don't know, but it sat in my pocket all day and shattered somehow. So that was terrible. And that was about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months. And since then I've been using that little Nokia little guy. I mean, it works. It's not horrible, but it's not ideal for 2024. But I finally bit the bullet. I finally saved up enough. And ladies and gentlemen, I am so proud to announce I will be the proud owner of a Google Pixel 6 that is not my watch, in 6-7 days. It depends on when they start shipping it. Use Swappa always for phones. Great deal, great company. Use them, please. But I got mine from Swappa. I've always kind of wanted a Pixel. I've been interested in Google Pixels for a long time. I know people have varied opinions on it, like everything. But from what I've heard, Google Pixels, you either love it or you fucking hate it, and there's not really an in-between. So I'll find out. But I mean, from everything I saw, it looks cool. Honestly, I just didn't want another S10 Plus. Like, I'm fine with that, but I wanted to try a Google Pixel just because I never have. And it's like on Swappa, I think it was a $5 to $10 difference between getting another S10 Plus or the Pixel 6. So we're biting the bullet. We're trying it. I'll let you guys know how it goes. But I'm excited for that. I already ordered, there's like a specific brand of phone case that I found that people recommended specifically for the Pixel 6 that they said was like really good. The Spigen Tough Armor Extreme Protection Tech, designed for Google Pixel 6 case. Apparently a lot of people like it. It's similar to the OtterBox, but a little cheaper. So I went with one of those because I need maximum protection, apparently. And I finally got glass screen protectors. I've never done it before. I've always wanted to. So within that spirit, I did it again, and I got a set of 4 glass screen protectors that also comes with 2 sets to cover the back-facing cameras, because it kind of has a notch on the back specific to the Pixel 6. It's like the Google phone thing. So we'll see how it goes. See if it lasts. From what I saw, a lot of people were saying that the glass would shatter on the protector, and then their phone would actually be completely fine underneath. Then you just swap it out for $5, or like this one, if you get a pack that comes with 4, you're good to go. So that sounds cool. And the glass is a little bit tougher when it comes to scratching too. The plastic screen protectors can still let scratches get through. So we'll see. I will let you guys know how all of that goes. Look at this. Look at this thing. Celsius Cosmic Vibe. Also, I would just like to point out, not having the screen mirrored or flipped. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, fuck that. I guess I'm fucking not. Damn it. I hate when that happens. I got edged, snedged. I got snedged. Celsius Cosmic Vibe. My light is totally fucking with this. It's a little energy drink. It's branded to look all fancy and healthy. It's not at all. It's just like all the other ones. 200 milligrams of caffeine. There's a guy at my work who drinks these things all the time. So I've been trying them every now and then. I keep trying to give Celsius a chance. I don't like it. I can't explain it. I don't like them. I really thought I'd like this one too, because this is a flavor that I would like. I love fruit punch stuff. So I've told my fiance all the time, I wish there was like sparkling fruit punch out there. And I know there is, but I love, well, not sparkling. I say carbonated, because it doesn't have sparkling, usually kind of implies like a lack of sweetener, like it's a flavor and carbonation. But I love carbonated anything. And I like fruit punch, and that together sounded great. Fortunately, it was not. It kind of just tasted like berry candy, like a very strong berry flavor, and that's pretty much it. It was not fruit punch, so womp, L, didn't like it. So I'm basic, I guess, when it comes to my energy drinks. I like white Monster. Actually, I mostly just like Monster, even though I don't really drink those anymore. I've been trying to stick to this guy right here, iced coffee. Energy drinks are not good for you, unfortunately. It took me a long time to accept it, but I have felt better ever since I've switched back to just coffee. And I also drink significantly less caffeine. But hey, turning 26, getting older. Fortunately, that's part of the process, right? What else we got? I'm spending way too long on this. It's been so long, fellas. It's been so long. I fixed Layla's PC, my fiance. We have the same PC, same laptop that we both use in desktop setups. Very proud, very proud. I have swapped the fans in these things more times than I can count. I'm basically a professional maintenance tech when it comes to these laptops specifically. It is the GS, hold on, I got this. What brand is this? I don't actually remember. Steel Series. It's a stealth like VR GS 30 something stealth VR ready. I don't know. MSI, that's what it is. MSI GS34? I think. I don't know. It's not that important. I think I am right. I think it is the 34. The GS34 is stealth. Anyway, I could rant about gaming laptops for a long time. My opinion has changed a little bit now that I've gotten used to servicing them, but that's kind of the thing. The reason why I don't like gaming laptops is because they run too hot. They're kind of a pain to service. The fans die way too fast. Anyway, I've gotten very good at it, and I tore that thing apart, serviced it, threw it back together pretty quickly. Very proud of myself. I think I would have done it in like under an hour if I didn't have to stop to eat. And also it was Friday, and we were making smash burgers, and it was like a whole thing. You know, we were kicking off the weekend. I may have popped a silly gummy, if you know what I mean, and may have underestimated how quickly consuming super greasy and lipid-based smash burgers would increase the effectiveness of said silly gummy. So it hit rather fast, and then I had to finish putting it together while feeling a little silly. And the funny part was that wasn't an issue. Only thing I had left was just putting the last screws in and putting on the back of the laptop case. But I got distracted because Layla was watching a TV show, and I just went over there for like 2 hours, and she kept being like, "Can you please finish my laptop so I could play Stardew?" And I was like, yeah. And I kept forgetting. But it's good. It's all good now. I finished it, and it works great. There's one issue that I didn't have with mine. I replaced the assembly with 2 fans for the GPU cooler. I repasted the GPU and CPU. I cleaned out everything. I gave it a triple bypass to give it as much health back to it as I possibly could. But I'm having an issue with the GPU fans that I replaced. They, at idle, kind of like to rev up, rev down, rev up, rev down. And there's a couple of reasons for that behavior. I thought it was a software issue. It seems like it is, but it's not. The changes that I'm making to it aren't sticking. They'll change for a little bit, and then it'll revert back to that behavior. It's possible it's on the threshold of, at a specific temperature, it'll ramp up the fan. It's probably something I've fixed, but it's annoying, and I haven't figured it out yet, but we'll get there. I need to move on. It's been 22 minutes. We're not even a content update. Holy shit. I wasn't talking to you, Google. My Google just said, sure, setting a timer for 22 minutes. Starting now. I never. Thanks, buddy. Okay. Last thing. I've been rambling a little bit. Been watching season 4 of The Boys. I've been so out of the loop that I did not even know season 4 was out. It's okay. You know, I actually like that show. I got into it because of my friends, but I do like it. Every now and then it's a little bit too much for me. Not that it's too violent or too gross. It's just so much intentional gross out so often. It's like the awkward gross, like all the weird shit. You know, when you binge it, sometimes I need a break. It's just like, oh, Jesus Christ. But season 4 is okay. I'm not loving it. I'm a little disappointed. I kind of heard that sentiment before I watched it, but I don't like knowing anything when I go into stuff or knowing people's opinions. I like to just watch it and find out. But I don't know. I just finished the episode 4 at the time of recording, which is 6/21/2024. Episode 5 is not out yet. And as far as I can say as of right now, it's okay. There's a lot of they're doing that writer thing where they're bringing in backstory that we have never even heard of before. It was never hinted at before. And like the characters that we have come to like, regardless of their issues, we're like, I like you. The writers are just like, hey, here's a bunch of problematic backstory. Look at all the bad shit they did that we never told you about, and there's no way you could have ever possibly knew happened. Aren't they terrible people? Feel bad for them, or don't. And it's just like, I don't know. It feels very forced, and I'm not that interested. I don't really care because it doesn't. That's what it feels like. But I'm still gonna watch it because I like superhero shows and special effects and shit. So. Oh, good coffee. Okay. Let's get a move on here. It's time for fucking content updated. Did. Fuck. So I can finally say it now instead of bullshitting. So there's a little bit of stuff that's different this episode. You may have noticed a lot of it, or you may have not. I spent not all day. I wrote all day on my notes here, but I spent about the last 3, 4, God, maybe even 5 hours actually getting all of this working. Spent, I think, $5. Not bad. Here's what I've noticed, and this will tie into some topics later on today, but I'm trying to take all of my content more seriously. I'm trying to do more, and it's super cliche, but time is money and efficiency is everything. So I need to find a way to make this podcast faster to make and easier to make, because as of right now, it's a hobby of mine, and I've always said this and I'll keep saying it. I don't care if people don't listen to it. It just feels nice to talk about a bunch of shit for an hour and be able to ramble, because my brain never gets to, so it's fun. But it takes more effort than it really should, which is kind of the problem. As of right now, well, before this episode, the way I was doing it was I'd take this stupid fucking iPhone that I hate so much, and I would balance it on my old Acer monitor from 2001. It may even be pre-2000s. It's so thick. I mean, this is a thick case for a modern phone case, but this monitor is like, I don't know, almost like an inch thick on the top, maybe even a little bit more. So I'd take out the pop socket on the back of the iPhone, and there's like this little plastic ridge. It's like smaller than a millimeter, but it's just enough that this tiny, tiny edge on the back of the pop socket can just barely slip into that ridge on the top of my monitor, and that's what holds the phone on top. It's stupid, and it falls off all the time, and it drives me crazy, and I have to make sure the iPhone is plugged in because it'll die, and it runs out of storage all the time, and it's just a pain. So I would get that set up on my monitor over and over and over, test and test and test, because I can't see a live view, so I have to test the view, sit down, record, look at it. It's a pain. It was not fun. And then I take that when I was done, edit it all together. I record my audio in Ableton actually, and render that out, pull in the video in DaVinci, pull in the audio that I rendered out, edit it all together. I have to make title cards every episode because they're always different. I add in sound effects. I add in a little bit of editing just at the beginning in general, because it's kind of fun sometimes. I kind of edit it like my silly, funny editing style that I do on YouTube. I do that a little bit at the beginning of the podcast. But recording the podcast takes about an hour, maybe a little bit more. Editing it can take up to 2 hours when it's bad. When I'm going real fast and I know exactly what I'm going to do, no bullshit, I could probably get it done in an hour, but it takes a long time. And to record a whole podcast and post it and everything, for that to take like upwards of 3, maybe 4 hours, that's too long for a podcast where someone's just talking and there's nothing else going on. That's too much effort. And we only have 30 minutes left. This might be a long podcast, I'll be honest. We're coming back after a hiatus. Well, not really. A 1 week break. We're coming after a 1 episode break. It may be a little bit long. It's okay. It is what it is. We'll hone it in next time. Anyway, the process would take much too long. And then the thumbnail, I make those YouTuber thumbnails for my podcast because, like I've said many times, it is a horrible, horrible necessity. It is what it is. But yeah, takes too long. So here's what I came up with. I kind of just thought about it. Like, there was nothing specifically that made me come up with this idea. It just happened. I thought, how can I make this easier to do? And eventually I landed on the idea of, I wish I could record this as a live podcast. And we're not live right now. I legitimately don't know if I could record on OBS and stream at the same time. My CPU is actually only at 17% usage right now. And I don't know if I'm encoding on GPU or CPU. I don't remember. It might be GPU. However, we might be able to. And I am doing this in 1080. Before, I used to stream in 720. So I don't know. We'll try it. We will try it. I will try maybe next episode doing a live recording. And if we have people in chat, dude, maybe we can talk to them, or maybe I can be like, hey, we have a question section at the end, post some questions in the chat, we'll answer them at the end. Maybe we could do that. That'd be fun. But what I came up with is the main problem was everything was taking too long to film, to make all of the cards, to then edit them in, to add in the sound effects, to edit in the intro, to edit out the outro, to edit in the outro, to edit it. Like, it's just, I was editing everything from scratch every single time. And so the main line of thinking was, I wish that all of this could basically be automated or more plug and play, where I just press a button and that's it. And that's more like a streaming thing. So that's where I went with it. I got OBS, and what I have done is, you may have noticed, so there won't be any more of like the silly funny editing at the beginning anymore. But I started with, I just changed the way I did it completely. So now, instead of editing everything in, I have pre-made videos that are different scenes in OBS. So all that I have to do now, everything is preset. And I can show this, well, I'll just tell you about it. I don't really have it set up to show screen capture right now, but I have scenes. I have like 8 podcast scenes, and it starts with intro, and I'll play it for you. It's literally just the videos. I rendered each thing out as its own little separate, like 1 to 3 second video, so that I can just hot swap them and press intro when I'm ready to roll the intro. And for small talk, content update, topic 1, 2, 3 questions, whenever I'm ready to transition, I just press that button, it plays the video, I press a button to switch it back to the camera, and we keep going. And wouldn't you know it, it's editing on the spot. My goal with this, and I can't do it yet, and I'll explain why, but my goal is to hit start recording button and then do everything on the fly, like live mixing basically. So that all I have to do is hit record, do the podcast, hit stop recording, and then upload that video that it spits out. I don't have to do any editing, because that is efficient. And it doesn't have to be a loss in quality, because I pre-rendered all the little title cards and everything beforehand, and I'm just throwing them in there when I'm ready. It sounds better than it is. I do think it's faster. It is faster. The one problem is that I make title cards for each topic, which I might just stop doing in general because of all the stuff I'd have to do. I may just have it say on the title card, it might just say topic 1 instead of saying topic 1 colon YouTube content or whatever the title is. Because since I render these all as little video snippets that I use, that means that I have to, number one, go into Photoshop, well, Photopea, because fuck Adobe, so use the free alternatives, but I have to go into Photoshop and make all 3 title cards, which I have a template for, but it's still, I have to make and render 3 PNGs. Then I have to bring those PNGs into DaVinci and render those out into another template that's already set up for it, but I still have to do it. Bring those PNGs and render those out into little snippets of videos. Then, excuse me, go into OBS and link those snippet videos to the scenes. So like there's still a lot of work that goes into it. And that's why I think I actually am going to just remove that in the future. We're still going to have the transitions and it's still going to say topic 1, but I'm not going to have it say what the topic is. I'm just going to speak it. Like here, I'll show you right now. Here's if we were ready to switch to topic 1, which we're not yet, but this is what it would be like. It's like, oh, let's go to topic 1. It works. It works. But I had to render multiple things to get it to say EDM Multiverses Remix. Instead, it could just say topic 1 and we could move on. So that's probably what I'm going to do in the future, because the more we get to streamline, the easier it is for me to do other stuff that needs to get done. So we're doing good. I know it sounds kind of corporate, kind of bad, but there's like a whole philosophy that goes on with like being a content creator and like managing yourself, because I'm the only one that does this. I don't have a team. I don't have an editor. I do everything. And I have an actual job that takes way too much of my time. So I need a little bit of time to do this and to do it efficiently. So, you know, so that's everything with the streaming setup. It's cool. It's better. It's been great using my S22 as a camera. It took a long time to figure out, but you guys may have heard of Droid Cam before. It's pretty popular with people who want to get into streaming and stuff, or anybody who just wants to use their old phone as a camera. It works really well. I tried to use it a couple years ago. Maybe it was a newer version. I mean, an older version. Maybe it wasn't polished yet, but it did not work. I tried to use it over Wi-Fi, and my Wi-Fi was not good enough, but I have it running over USB. So I literally just have my phone mounted on top of my monitor, and it's running over USB, and I get a live feed from that, and I can change all my settings, which is just something I couldn't do with the iPhone. So that's why it looks better today than it really probably ever has. One thing is funny though, I still can't see a live feed of my camera. So what I did, I use Microsoft's Phone Link, which, if you know about it, you might know is a bit notorious for kind of being shit, but I mean, it works for what I need it for. I boot up Phone Link and I am able to use my phone from my computer without having to like get up and look behind my phone to see what's going on. I can change all the settings I need to. I can open all the apps I need to. It's fucking great. It works way too well. And until I actually get a real camera, I don't think that S22 is ever going to leave the spot that it's in, because it's working fucking magical. One thing I did know that I read is that people were warning about using Droid Cam while charging your phone, and then also while using 1080p high settings, because it gets quite hot, which, I mean, take a little feel here. No, we're golden, dude. We're golden. People were recommending, hey, if you're going to do all that, maybe put a fan on it, which is hilarious. But people were legitimately saying their phones were burning up. So that's not great. But I took their advice. I have a little desk fan, which I tore it completely apart today, clean it. I'm trying to build all of my handyman skills. That was actually very fun. But I literally have that little desk fan sitting behind my monitor, blowing onto the screen of the S22, and it is cool to the touch. It feels great. So it's fine. It could be there permanently if it needs to. I can get another desk fan if I have to for myself, but I mean, it works. So I was going to get a Logitech webcam that everybody gets for streaming. I forget which one. It's an older one, but honestly, this works so well. That S22 may not be coming off that monitor anymore. Well, once the Pixel 6 gets here. It's not here yet, so. Also, I have it mounted on top of my monitor with a bunch of stretchy, I don't know what you call this, stretch lace. Layla had this on hand because she's very arts and crafty. It's elastic. I mean, it stretches real far. So I tied this if this is the phone, I tied it in 3 sections around each edge of the phone, and it's literally just mounted on top of my monitor by being tied there. And I took a little bit of, do I have any extra left over? I don't. I took a little bit of like that tennis racket rubber wrapping, and I put that on the top edge of my monitor so the phone can grip to something and not fall off. And I mean, it's working. It's more stable than the bullshit I was doing before with the pop socket and that little seam. So we're jank, but we're resourceful and we're getting there. 40 minutes in, holy shit. Okay. Use a droid cam, pretty epic did. So again, I'm sorry to you non-video viewers, but you guys gotta watch to see some of this shit. So you see this guy here. This might be a little bit not sounding great while I'll do this, but 1 second. Okay. This is a boom mic. You're all probably very familiar with this off Amazon. They're pretty shitty. I've went through a lot of them through the years. Panda, stop tearing up the couch, you little shit. He's a little bad boy. Oh shit. All right. He's very cute though. So these boom mics are cheap as shit, but they work good enough for what they are. Apparently they have these kind of style boom mics off Amazon that instead of holding a microphone on the end, they have like one of those friction gripping the sides of your phone car mount. So it holds a phone or a tablet. The one I got comes with 2 options. So I'm going to hook one of these onto the other side of my desk. And so it's actually just going to hold the phone up behind my monitor, really wherever I want it. And it's just going to be free mounted in the air instead of all this balancing bullshit. So that's cool. I'm excited for that. Oh man. What else we got? It's content update. Yes. Sample Gamble episode 2 is still in the works. I think I said that last time, but I've been working on editing it. We are about halfway through. We got to do some final passes, but we're getting there. ChatGPT is cool sometimes. I think you guys are all aware of some of my rants before that I am a big fan of technology, but I'm also can recognize when shit is stupid. This AI stuff is extremely cool and it's fascinating. The way it's being marketed and like juiced for everything it's worth and the economic impact and all that is very dumb. But it's cool. But you know, all the other downsides don't outweigh the novelty mostly because it's not really that useful. It's just interesting. But ChatGPT is cool sometimes because I am finding out that it kind of can be useful on occasion. Of course, we're all well aware that it is mathematically probability-based answers. It is not, there's no thought or critical thinking behind it. It is simply trying to guess the arrangement of words and letters that is the most mathematically probable to be the best answer to the set of words and letters that you gave it. So it doesn't know what it's saying. However, I finally bit the bullet. I heard recently about ChatGPT 4 and their new AI voice synthesis response where you just can have a voice conversation with it. I thought that sounded kind of fun. I immediately had like video ideas with that, of course. I'm sure tons of YouTubers did. Finally bit the bullet. I downloaded ChatGPT app on my phone and I've been messing around with it. Just talking to him like Layla's really into Bridgerton right now. So I had ChatGPT. Okay, Google, stop your bitch ass mouth and shut the freak up, bro. Thanks, dude. So Layla's really into Bridgerton right now. So I asked ChatGPT, I said, hey, can you summarize season 1 of Bridgerton in a surfer dude bro chill as shit accent? It was fucking hilarious. He did the whole, I mean, he didn't do the accent, but he talked like one. It was hilarious. Loved it. It's really entertaining for that kind of stuff. But I've actually found out ChatGPT can kind of be useful on occasion. Now, we all are aware that AI can hallucinate and present completely false things as fact. So that's very important that you should keep an eye out for that. Never take anything it says at face value. However, I've been asking it for nothing that's fact-based, but like brainstorming stuff. It works really well. Believe it or not, ChatGPT presented me with the solution with my camera issue, because I told it, hey, I have this shitty setup with an iPhone trying to record YouTube videos. I don't have a real camera, and I can't see what I'm doing on the iPhone when I'm recording. What should I do, ChatGPT? I didn't think it'd know what to do with that. He was fucking prepared. He came with notes, and he said, well, buddy, try using a screen mirroring app on your phone so that you can look at what you're doing on your PC. That way you can change your settings, blah, blah, blah. Maybe try Microsoft Phone Link. And I was just like, what the fuck? That's a good idea. And this has happened multiple times where I'm just kind of fucking around with it. And I think, you know what? Fuck it. I'll ask it something that I've legitimately been wondering about recently. And then he gives me a decent idea that I kind of didn't think of. So that kind of stuff, it can kind of be useful for. It's pretty interesting. AI is super hot right now, as we're all well aware. And as someone who's trying to grow their teeny tiny YouTube channel with zero audience at the moment, I'm going to milk that shit so hard, unabashedly. I'm going to make it interesting, but I'm definitely going to keep using like AI in the title for a couple videos, probably not more than like 2 or 3, but I have some ideas based around AI and music production, not what you think. Specifically with this new conversational chat GPT thing, I've had the idea of like giving him a prompt at the beginning before we start recording to kind of have a funny persona. And then his entire job is going to be telling me how to make a song. And then I take everything he says somewhat literally and try to construct a song exactly as he instructs me to do it, which sounds entertaining. So ideas like that, not just like, hey, I'm going to go write a prompt in Suno AI and here's the song it made, I'm a producer, like not that. Yeah, holy shit, we made it through. So it's time, even though you've seen it already, for topic number 1. Multiverse's EDM remix. Have you heard about this? Do you even know what Multiverses is? If you don't know, Multiverses is Warner Bros. Smash Brothers game, where anything under that IP title of Warner Bros. Is open to being in that game. So that's cool. I know a lot of people like it. I tried it when it was in beta. My friends like it, so that's pretty cool. We played it not that long ago. But what I did not see coming is there's a YouTuber that I watch named Eliminate, and they asked him, or maybe he asked them, I don't know how it happened, but he did a fucking remix for multiverses of the soundtracks into all these like EDM bangers, which is just what? That's insane. Like, he's already pumping like 4 videos out a month, I think, on average, and making his own music and touring, playing live events, and then he somehow found the time to remix almost every soundtrack in a video game into a completely new song with like a whole bunch of tracks. What the fuck? Dude is insane. That's insane. He made 9 tracks, literally an entire album. And they're all remixes, of course, but don't fucking shit on a remix because it takes a lot of effort to, like, holy shit. Multiverses also featured it on their YouTube channel. They had an entire video dedicated to it with, they called it animations. I'm not sure I'd call it, I mean, it's technically animations, but it's like graphic design using like just the emotes from the game and stuff. It's not really like an actual animated thing, but still, that's got to be some crazy awesome exposure. I do wonder how much he got paid to do it, because I mean, it's fucking Warner Bros. Like, he got to make a soundtrack for the Joker Bugs Bunny fucking what's her name from Dragon Show? Layla. I think she's asleep. I don't remember her name. Anyway, it's insane. I wonder how much they offered him to do that, because that must have been pretty cool. It's just a cool thing in general. He, of course, got to make his own video off of it for his own YouTube channel on him making it and all that process. It was pretty entertaining. Dude's a monster. So thought that was pretty interesting. And it kind of leads us into our next topic, which is YouTube growth. Now, this one is, I don't really know how to name this, but I talked a little bit about this, I think, on my last podcast, which, as we also know, is a phrase that I fucking love saying, and I'm going to take a sip of coffee now. Oh, yeah, good coffee. I have been trying to take things more seriously and really kind of study what works and what doesn't, and like how I should move forward with things, which is something I've never really put in the effort to do before. But like, more than ever, I am pushing to make this a career. I'm lucky enough that my day job is actually something that I enjoy and is already kind of turning into a career if I want it to be. However, not really. I'd much rather do this stuff. Obviously, everyone who's an artist probably would. Well, let's not generalize, but I think a lot of people would like to. So that said, I spent like, it's a work in progress, but I spent a lot of time not that long ago. It's like a whole day deep diving into research about what works and what doesn't, and why did this person succeed? Why did this person not? Blah, blah, blah. So here's what I came up with. Because I already watched Eliminate and his YouTube channel, and I started watching him from when he was a very, very small channel. I couldn't tell you the subscriber count, but it had to be under like 10,000. It was like very beginnings of his YouTube channel. So I've kind of been there through the whole thing, watching him get more and more popular and do better and better. So I just use that as a metric, since that's something that I'm familiar with. I'm like, well, let's study it. So before I get into that, I just have little notes here. I had a couple things that I wrote down on like a voice recording app, said on my way to work on a couple different mornings. I'm like, I should mention that in the podcast. One thing is just a producing tip that I heard, which is just, I mean, it's kind of a basic thing, but it's just something good to remember, is mixing in a lot of audio design, but also mostly for producing. If you think of mixing as like a cup, and the cup being full, when the cup is full, you have no more room to add anything. And this is obviously an analogy for a frequency spectrum when mixing. If that thing is fully saturated from the 60 to 21,000, Panda, what are you doing? Stop it. Or whatever it goes up to. Well, then you can't add anything else. And I've been trying to learn. I've had some feedback here and there on my music, and I've been trying to take it to heart to learn the art and elegance of minimalism, and truly that less is more. And that definitely applies to mixing, and it definitely applies to just elements in your song in general. You can have super complex songs, but it's very important to layer them effectively or make sure they're not overlapping each other so that you can maintain that random sound. Is he about to push my Pac-Man off? He's right there. He's sniffing it. He's sniffing it. Don't be a bad boy. But yeah, less is more. I do too much in all my songs. I need to limit my tracks and instruments and start simplifying everything. And I'm working on that. We'll see where it goes. So, as I was saying, been studying Eliminate and his YouTube and his content creation just as to get myself familiar with what's realistic. So, here's what I've learned, chat. Eliminate blew up. I won't say blew up because that's a relative term, but I noticed for as far back as I could see, which is only to the farthest back I could go, I think was 5 years, 3 years. I don't know which, may only be 3, but it was when he had about 100,000 subscribers. And this is just using websites like Social Blade and all of the other ones that exist nowadays, which are varying in accuracy, as we know. So everything of this is with a grain of salt. And I know it's not all like perfect, but it helps. So back when he had about 100,000 subscribers, I looked at the graph for how much it went up and when, so I could figure out fucking why. Here's what I came up with. I learned that somewhere around January 30th of 2022, his subscriber count went basically from 100,000 to 150,000, just like whoomp over the course of, I don't know if it was a week, 2 weeks, or a month, but it was very fast. That's a lot of subscribers to get in a quick fashion. And I spent hours going through his videos, getting closer and closer to that date, January 30th. I finally got there, and I think I figured it out. He remixed a burp from a popular streamer, Moist Critical, Charlie, which I'm sure you guys know of. He remixed him burping, and apparently Charlie saw it and reacted to it as well, which that is just, I mean, there you go. You want growth? There you go. That is a great idea. And especially Charlie actually seeing it and reacting to it, that's probably a lot what did it. But just seeing a more popular YouTuber in the title of a video is also that the people already like. That's super helpful. Also, look at him. Look at Panda Bear. He's just chilling now. He's part of the background now. What a cute boy. Good boy. So when he remixed him burping, he went from 100K to 150K in a month. I think that's what I wrote here. And currently he's sitting at 270K. So like pretty steady growth. And I don't remember. I think that's over the course of the last 2 years. He went from 150 to almost 300, which that's still pretty good. From what I could tell, and we can't really trust Social Blade predictions that much, I would assume. I don't actually know. But I think it was predicting him, and don't quote me on this because I don't quite remember, but I think it was predicting him hitting 500,000 subscribers by like 2026, somewhere between 2025 and 2026, which does seem fairly reasonable considering his growth so far, so that makes sense. His first video on his channel, he talks about being new to YouTube. And I went as far back as I could on his channel. That video, I mean, I would actually love to know. I would love to interview him, actually, to have him on the podcast. There's a lot of people I would love to, but, you know, maybe someday. But I don't think it's his actual first video because there's some things that he does that I remember when he started doing. And that's already an established thing in this video, which is the only video that you can see as the first one on his channel. So that's why I don't think it is. But in that video, he talks about being new to YouTube. So it couldn't have been much longer after when he first started. But he had a thing that he would do, and I remember when it happened, he had his headphones and he was like, man, I wish there was a way that I could be unique. Like, what's something that I could do to kind of stand out and be my thing? And he said, what if I made like some wacky sound design when I put on my headphones, like every time I do it, and that's like my thing. And I remember that for whatever reason, it stuck with me. I'm like, oh, that's a pretty cool idea. And he's already doing that. Like, that's an established thing in the first video that you can see right now on his YouTube channel. So it's definitely not his first video, which is completely normal. It's completely normal. I have unlisted almost all of my old videos, which I said I would never do, but you know, it is what it is. If you want a consistent brand, it's important to not have all that shit in the backlog. Like, if I do ever become successful and like I'm not worried about growth anymore, maybe I'll unlist them all and be like, hey, if you guys want to go watch them, they're all there now. But we'll see. So not long after that first video that you can see where he says, I'm new to YouTube, it really was not long. It was like, well, I don't want to quote it, but I think it was around like 10-ish videos, if I can remember. There's a video titled something like celebrating 50,000 subscribers or something like that. Like, he hit that milestone. And he said in that video that he's only been doing YouTube for 3 fucking months. Holy shit. He got 50,000 subs in only 3 months. That's fucking awesome. And like, this shit is doable, man. If you can pump out quality content, at least on a schedule, if it's consistent, that's the most important thing. But if you can just do that and just keep doing it, and as it gets easier, and when you actually start getting money from it, if you make sure to diversify your income with Patreon, YouTube members, I think is what they call it, all that shit, streaming too, like, get many sources of income, and like, this shit becomes doable, and it's very exciting, and I'm trying to do it. So I kept studying, and far as I can tell, as of right now, it seems like he posts about 4 videos a month, while doing a whole bunch of live shows and other shit, streaming. There's a lot. Like, he's a busy fucking dude, and I know that's the reality for a lot of successful content creators, is they just stay busy. I think a lot of people look at YouTube as a job, and it's like, well, that must be easy. You just sit at home on your computer all day, which is true. But like, these guys are doing so fucking much stuff, and like, I'm ready. I'm willing to try. I'm hoping I can keep up a good pace and do Patreons and podcast and merch and make music and maybe YouTube members or whatever it's called. Again, I don't remember. Like, all that stuff makes it a lot more doable, and I have ideas for all of it. We're getting the wheels spinning. We're getting there. Let's get just some consistent videos out first, you know? So yeah, that's my spiel about that. I gleaned everything I could from it. I realize I'm kind of just telling you facts without telling you what I learned, but I kind of explained some of it, but I just need to post videos consistently. And I'm also, another thing I learned today, the algorithm has changed, obviously. But right now the algorithm is really promoting super long videos. I have not streamed for a while for many reasons, mostly technical reasons, because I'm not sure my computer can stream at 1080 while also recording, which I would need to do. So we'll figure it out at some point. But I might start streaming again and start a 3rd channel in relation to all of my new content, that is literally just re-uploads of the Twitch streams and nothing else. No matter how long they are, just an archive on YouTube for people to watch if they want to. And the reason is because what I learned today is that the YouTube algorithm will take this stuff, and once it finds the right person who's willing to watch these long videos, it will start recommending those longer videos to them. And especially if you make that content, it'll keep recommending more of those long ones. But the thing is, with YouTube, the most valuable viewer is the viewer that is asleep, who has autoplay on. So that's kind of the whole thing with this current algorithm. They are shoving lots of ad-riddled 11-hour videos as often as they can get ads in there to people who are not awake. And it's working. It's working. So that's an idea. I don't know if I'll do it, but maybe I can make little shorts out of the clips that I get from the streams too and post them on there, and maybe my main channel too, but we'll see. We'll see. Just an idea I had. I know, guys, it's been 1 hour and 5 minutes. You've been getting through with me. I'm proud of you. We're here. Final topic, all right? Topic number 3, which is mechanic skill. Trying to increase my mechanic skill, guys. I'm trying to bring it up to level 100 mechanic skill. This is just kind of in general. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but one of my philosophies as I get older is I want to learn how to do things, actual learned skills, so that I don't have to rely on other resources. So if something breaks, I can fix it. If I have to do something that's kind of like a specific skilled labor thing, I can do it myself because I learned how. So that kind of stuff. That's what I'm trying to learn. One of those things is being a mechanic. I already, it's an interest of mine. I've talked about it before, but I love watching car videos and restoring old vehicles. It's a hobby. So we're just going to dive in. We're going to try to do it more and more and more. So I'm going to work on my Prius, my 2010 Toyota Prius. Oh, excuse me, Daddy. I recently found this channel, which, by the way, I fucking love. I found it like a day ago. The channel's name on YouTube is Merv's Service Secrets. It's fucking, oh my God. I could watch that channel for so long, at least for the video that I saw. It's fucking he's so funny. It's an older Southern guy who kind of talks like this in his videos, and he does some narration. And in the background, they're playing some ambient outside sound effects like wind blowing, a little bit of cows here and there, little chickens. Very kind of comfy sound. And they have this very high quality country narrator. And everything has very nice shots of everything he's doing, with little annotations and graphic design animations to make sure everything is clear. And then he mixes in dry humor throughout the whole fucking video, and it's very funny. Whenever he's clearing stuff out, I forget the name of what I assume is his wife, but he'll be like, thank goodness I had Maggie's toothbrush so I could start giving some of this stuff broken free. And it just, all these little country phrases that even me as a country boy haven't heard before. It's super fucking funny. Please, if you like informational content or just funny automotive content, you gotta watch this guy. He's fucking hilarious. It's like 50,000 subscribers or something like that. I think it kind of seems like he might have like a younger daughter or granddaughter. I'm not sure who edits the videos, I think is what's going on. But it's funny. It's really funny. I love it. Anyway, Prius, here's what we got to do. I have been daunted by physically working on the active cars that I use to get around. I say plural. I don't actually have more than one car. I mean, the previous vehicles that I used to own, I was afraid of working on them while I owned them. However, that's a great excuse not to learn how to be a mechanic, isn't it? So I am going to work on the car that I currently own, that I currently use to get around, because I don't have another one. I can't work on any other car. I would love a fucking project car. Holy shit. I could talk to you about hours on that. I don't even care what it is. Literally anything. Shitbox Honda Civic. I fucking love to just work on it, to kind of like learn, you know, one day, not in an apartment, but one day. Here's all the shit I got to do to my 2010 Toyota Prius with about 100,000 or 105,000 miles on it. If you know about Priuses, which is already kind of a niche, but if you really know about Priuses, and you know the Prius chat forums and all the little things about Priuses, you may have heard. Oh, people are so fucking loud around this apartment. Sorry if you can hear that. My noise canceling is pretty good, so probably not. But one of the things you'll hear people talk about all the time on like Prius subreddits, mechanic subreddits, and Prius forum chats and stuff like that is cleaning your EGR valve, and sometimes the intake manifold that goes with it. It depends. But the EGR valve, and don't quote me on what it stands for. I know what it does. I forget the acronym. What does EGR stand for? EGR stands for exhaust gas recirculation. That's what it stands for. So the system, this was not in Priuses before 2010, but to try and cut down on emissions and probably to maybe reform to emission regulations. I don't know. They introduced an EGR valve, which takes fumes from that have already been passed through the engine, residual gas fumes that can be ignited, and it reroutes them back into the engine to then be combusted a second time if they had not been before. Not a bad idea in principle. The problem is, after 100,000 miles, the carbon deposits start to build up really bad, to the point where it's just like, you look in this really tiny, like, how can I describe it? It's about this big, I would say, which is about like what, 2 quarters width, 2 literal quarters. And it just gets full of like this deep black crust inside, to the point where it completely block the valve completely, so nothing can get through. And much like an artery, when that eventually breaks off, it can go directly into your engine, directly into your intake manifold, then directly into a piston, and bye-bye head gasket. And when the head gasket goes, that's a very expensive fix, and it's something that everybody tries to avoid because it's thousands of dollars. And most people who own Priuses don't have thousands of dollars to fix a head gasket, when these older Priuses sell for $1,000 just in total. So preventative maintenance, my friends, very important. So that's the thing I'm going to do. Pretty daunting. I've never dug into a car that much before, but I have to take out the airbox. Honestly, I forget all the steps, but I have to take off the intake manifold itself, leading directly into the engine, which means when I remove that, you are literally going to be able to see the pistons sitting in there. And, it's always a good idea to shove rags in the ports so that nothing falls in there, because there's good luck. So that's pretty daunting and scary. EGR valve is kind of to the bottom right of the engine. So I have to take that off too. It's all pretty cut and dry. It's all pretty simple. You have to take off the assembly at the top near the windshield and remove the wipers. I think you may not have to actually remove them, but I've done that before as well. There's a lot of stuff that I've done with the Prius, but I've never gotten this deep into the engine, which is just scary. It's scary. You got to get new gaskets and replace all the gaskets, and that's scary because what if you fuck it up? But I can do it. I know I can. I can do it, and it's going to be okay. But that's going to be exciting. There's a whole cleaning process that Merv showed that he went through Gonna need some carburetor cleaner. Gonna need some, I don't think it was brake clean, but that's a very popular one. But do my best to clean it up. I bet you it's not gonna look very great. And I'm gonna be glad that I did it, because if I get that EGR out and it's all crusty, I mean, it's immediately worth it, because if I hadn't, that means, from what I hear, once you pass 100,000, anywhere from, it's more around 130, but anywhere from 100 plus is when your EGR is at risk of blowing your head gasket from all the buildup. So if I see there's buildup and I get it out, I'm going to feel great, because I'm a very anxious person. So I'm very paranoid about my Prius failing, because it's the only car I have. So I'm very excited to fix it. Not excited to fix a broken head gasket, though. If that happens, it's doable, but fuck that. Spray foam and body panels for noise reduction. Some of this stuff is not necessary. I've been talking with Layla, Les Fiancé, Petite Huey. I am Fridgie from the boys. We've kind of made a push recently. We've been kind of funneling some of our savings and budget towards getting the Prius in a state where it's very respectable and it feels like a car that I really want to keep and maintain and be proud of. And for me personally, I have had a car like that in the past. It was my Mustang that I've talked about that is no longer with us. I miss that car, but I want to get all the upgrades. I want to get it clean as shit. I want to keep it clean as shit. You know, I want to get a lot of quality of life improvements to really make this Prius a car that I want to keep forever, which I already am. I knew that from when I got it. I'm never selling this car. It's going to be with me till it dies. But I'm very excited to do all that. I'm getting finally back into mechanic shit, which I wanted to do for so long. So, big complaint for me, the driving noise, the road noise in the Prius is pretty fucking bad, actually. In the Gen 3 2010 models, it's like, it's kind of hard to focus on music sometimes, yes, unless you have it turned up super loud. Podcast too. So I'm excited to do that. You can get some spray foam sprayed into certain panels that helps noise reduction. You can get, I forget the brand names, but you can get insulation mats to put down that are, I think the top is kind of coated in like a soft metallic material. And those help with noise reduction too. You can put it in the trunk where the spare wheel is, down in that well. That can help a lot. A lot of this stuff, like, I'll dive into the specifics when I get there. I'm just going to have the notes ready so I know what I want to do. I have a general idea of all of it, but, you know, we'll get into the very specifics when I actually do it. Android Auto, new center console assembly, like the radio assembly. The Prius that I got is actually pretty high model as it can get for 2010 Prius. It's not fully there, like it doesn't have electric seats or heated seats or anything like that. I don't actually know if Priuses even had that, to be honest, from 2010, probably. But mine has the JBL sound system, which, to be honest, now that I've had it, I kind of do wish I had a better one. It is good. It is. The bass is like no other car I've ever had, but it's not great. It's good though. And then it has the, what do they call it? Media Center, old ass 2010 touchscreen display. It's super dated. The software is horrible. The Bluetooth connectivity is jank as fuck. It has a disc changer, which is super cool, man. I have multiple discs in there. You know, I'm baller like that. So that's, I kind of actually like that. I'm kind of could be sad if I remove the disc changer, but it is what it is. However, I would honestly highly prefer just a modern Android Auto assembly to replace it. As much as I love retro tech, which I really do, Layla and I want to make our aesthetic at our apartment and our house when we get it one day all retro stuff, which I'm so down with. But for usability on a daily basis, when it comes to the radio, I would really like something that is not as janky as this 2010 assembly that's in there. So that'll be something that's like the last final touch on the Prius. Really, I think I'm going to save it for that. If I can get so far, because I have like so many things on this list, we're not even like a fourth of the way through yet. If I can get all of it done, I will top it all off with a new radio assembly with Android Auto, nice like 60, 90 hertz screen. You can actually drag, and finger touch is responsive, all that shit. So we'll see. But it's going to be fun. Cleaning the hybrid fan. And I realize a lot of this is like things that people don't probably know about unless you're a Prius nerd. But in the Prius, there is the front seats and then the back bench. Technically, it's like standard compact car, 3 seats in the back. But to the right of the right seat, there is this little vent. And you'll hear people say all the time, don't you dare cover up that vent, and you should not. It can cause your Prius to completely stop and overheat, actually, which is kind of a design flaw. I know, I agree. But that vent, there is a vent system it's an intake vent, and there's a blower motor in the back right quarter panel, and it sucks in air through that vent and blows it directly onto the hybrid battery, which is under the back seats in front of like the trunk space. And the thing is, those things like never get cleaned unless you choose to. It's not a terribly hard process to pull it out and clean it. It's a little involved, but it's not bad. So that's something I want to do is take all that apart, pull the blower motor out, clean it. It's probably nasty. Maybe you blow out and clean the hybrid battery. It's probably sucked some shit up in there. I've actually never had temperature issues with the hybrid battery, and my life on my hybrid is pretty good too. I'm pretty sure it's the stock lead acid battery, but actually no. I don't think it is the lead acid battery. I think it's an older technology. I don't remember. Anyway, gonna do that. It's very good. Should do it, definitely. It's an easy one. Cabin air filter under the bottom part of the glove box. You know how some open at the top and the bottom? If you can pull that bottom out, if you squeeze it and pull towards you, it'll come out. And then this is like standard on every car. There's a filter back there that you just unlock something, pull it out. Those things get nasty. So I need to replace that. I've never done it. I have had an issue. I've had a couple issues with the Prius. I fixed basically all of them, but I've had an issue specifically where the blower motor for the AC, which is also kind of down under that glove box, will just stop working sometimes. I don't know why. It could be a loose connection or something, but I've had multiple times where I'll turn on the car and I'll turn up the AC, nothing happens, no fan. And randomly it'll come back to me. It'll come back to life like nothing ever happened. Still don't know why. I haven't had an issue with it in a long time. I think at some point a leaf or something got in there because it got kind of noisier for a while. So that's also a thing. If you're already back there replacing the cabin air filter, you might as well blow out the blower motor that's in there too. There's also an engine air filter. That one people probably know about more commonly. A lot of this is in most cars, but engine air filter in the engine bay, that's a quick swap too. It's not always completely necessary. Like at my job, it's not the same. We're not working on cars, but we use engine filters and stuff like that there too, and we'll just blow it out with compressed air, shove it back in. But I'm gonna get a new one because they're like $9. And you change the oil. We're almost past due. I actually thought we were, but we're not. Toyota updated their literature on oil changing habits not that long ago, and nowadays they say run full synthetic for like 10,000 miles, which is a lot. But just check it. Check your oil, make sure the level isn't going down, make sure it's not sipping up that oil, make sure it doesn't smell like gas too much. There's some symptoms for that, but make sure it's not too dark. But my oil looks pretty good. I'm not too worried about it, but I'm definitely going to change it the second I get a chance. Pretty soon, probably about 2 weeks or so. I'm buying everything I need, and I'm excited. Part of this mechanic learning phase, and just handyman in general is learning to be an everyman, and that's something I need tools for. So I've been building out my tool collection so far. I indulged myself a little bit and paid like 100 something. It may have even been close to 200, which is kind of embarrassing. But for like this sick ass DeWalt air compressor, that comes with attachments. You can use it to like blow up mattresses, or you can use it to blow up car tires, bike tires, basketballs, everything. It's part of the 20-volt lineup, which is what I'm going for. I fucking love the 20-volt lineup. It seems really solid. All the batteries are interchangeable. I'm excited. But it's part of the 20-volt lineup, which means you can just slot in a battery and that thing becomes portable. It's also got cigarette lighter 12-volt. But I store that thing in the back of my car, and it's big and yellow and has a LCD screen on it, and it's super fancy, and it makes me happy. And I actually got use out of it like within 2 or 3 days of buying it, which made me feel very validated, because I got like it wasn't even a nail. I don't know what it was. Some piece of metal lodged into one of my tires horizontally. So it was slowly leaking, but to the point where I had to put air in it to drive. And it was no issue, dude. I just jump out the car. And the best thing about this DeWalt air compressor, okay. You plug that bitch into your tire, right? And it gives you a readout on the LCD screen of what's it at. And you have a dial, like a rotary dial, which is so satisfying. Just click, 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 and you turn it, and it has your current pressure readout on the left, and then on the right, as you turn the dial, you can set what you want it to go to. You can set it to lower the pressure or increase the pressure. In my case, obviously, I increase the pressure to 55 or 50, whatever my tires are standard on. And then you just hit go. There's just a start button, and it handles everything. And it's not even that loud, to be honest. And it's fast. It is pretty fast compared to the cheap shit that I used to have for air compressors back in the day. And it will fill up pretty fast to the set, whatever you set it to, and then it'll shut off by itself. It says, okay, we're done. It's just, it's great. I'm a hoarder of physical technology, and I love this thing. I love it. I love power tools. I'm a man. I'm becoming a man. Yeah, so that's a good one. Where were we? Changing the oil. Oh yeah, let's go over everything I got. So, as a part of this new movement that we have embarked on making the Prius very nice and fancy, I'm going to go over all the things that I ordered recently. I'm very excited to get. The Google Pixel 6 and the phone case and the glass protectors. You know about that. You know about the boom arm for my phone holder from the new S22 camera that I'm using, basically, even though it's not new. You know what I mean? So I ordered a windshield wiper, the rear windshield wiper on the Prius. The blade is just completely fallen off, the rubber blade, so it doesn't do anything, and it flaps in the wind. So we're gonna fix that. I'm upgrading the interior lights. They're honestly kind of dim. They don't work too well, so I'm replacing all of them with an LED kit, just a little cardboard thing. I don't need to explain it. Yeah, I'm swapping those out. Cabin air filter, engine air filter, of course, ordered those. Here's an important one. I'm swapping out my headlights as well. I ordered some Last Fit H11, H8, H9 LED light bulbs, 2024 super bright 816 6000K mini size, easy install, new upgrade, non-polarity pack of 2. Amazon. I've learned a lot over the years about cars, but one thing I didn't realize before was that for a lot of cars, you can just put LEDs instead of halogen lamps. You can just do that. The connectors are just the same, and for a large majority of the time, it's just plug and play. I think Slovenia is a popular brand that's reliable, I think is how you pronounce that. But yeah, here's the thing though. If you're American, You know how controversial these fucking LEDs are because they're bullshit. And like all of these LEDs, even in police cars and stuff, they're too fucking bright. They're blinding everyone. And all these modern cars coming out with LEDs and their low beams, they're so bright, they might as well be high beams. And they literally blind you, especially at night. And good luck if you have glasses or an astigmatism or it's raining. Like, it's legitimately a hazard. So that's why I've been kind of hesitant to switch to LEDs, but it's bad. The halogens on my Prius, some people don't have issues with them. Mine, I've already replaced them once. They're a pain in the ass. One of the passenger side, I think, there's a coolant reservoir in the way. You kind of need to detach it and set it to the side, and then even still you're reaching in a really awkward angle. It's all by touch. You can't actually see anything. It's bullshit. But I'm replacing it with LEDs because these LEDs specifically, I made sure that these have I forget the terminology they say for it, but it's like the beam profile is specifically designed in a way where it blocks line of sight for oncoming drivers. So they're kind of angled down and a little bit to the left and right to keep it from shining into other people's eyes. And there's a bunch of reviews that says they actually do that, and they actually work that way. So that's why I'm comfortable getting these LEDs, because I don't want to be a part of the problem. And I think those LEDs are fucking stupid, and legitimately, 100% legitimately think we should have like legislation against those things because they're so bright. I've legitimately almost been in wrecks because of them before, and I know people have. I definitely, like, it's a thing in America among fucking everything else. Don't get me started on old drivers and legislation that should be in place for renewing your license and making sure you still know how to drive every couple of years, because a lot of people don't. Anyway, floor mats. I've had a tradition in all the cars I've had, which is not a lot, but I've always saved up a lot of money to get WeatherTech mats. I did it for my truck, and I did it for my Mustang, and I would love to do it for my Prius, but holy fucking shit, they want like $200 something for the Prius mats, and I don't. I love WeatherTech, but holy shit, I forgot how much they are. I don't. Maybe one day, I'll put it that way. Maybe one day if I get a raise and I can afford it, sure. But right now, no, I'm going with some off-brand $40 kit, left, right, back seat mats, and they're they're one of those mats where you're expected to trim them to fit. So it's whatever, it's fine. It's what I can afford. So it would just be nice to have some, because the ones I have, Priuses usually their stock OEM mats are like carpet mats, and I work in a very dirty environment, so I would like real rubber mats. So I'm getting those. I also recently replaced this wristband on my Fitbit, which has this cute cat. Look, Kitty. You can't see it. Hold on. Kitty. But this thing fell off. This little strap right here that holds it down eventually broke off after years, and I kept dropping it in the factory and almost losing it. So that's bad. It's very bad for many, many reasons. That's very, very bad. So I got a new band for like $6, and now it works, and it's great. And I'm trying to just start a whole movement in my life at the moment at like not putting stuff off and just fixing things. And if they're broken, buying a new one and just fixing it, and not like being worried about everything. And it's great. I'm liking it a lot. That's pretty much everything. I was going to pay to get the car detailed because I want it to be like pristine again. As some of you guys probably know, I've talked about it very, very, very briefly, but for a while I lived in that car, homeless. I lived in it for a year, with another person and with a dog. So it's dirty, stains. It's not great. So I want to get it detailed, but where I am out here in Florida, they want like $300 really minimum for a quality full detail, and then extra money for pet hair, which they refuse to tell you how much they're going to cost for. So that's unacceptable. If you want to look at it and give me a quote on the pet hair, sure, but maybe I'm naive and don't understand the process, and that's just kind of how it has to work. Either way, I don't want to bust that much money without knowing how much it's going to be in the end. So, whoopsies, unplug my headphones. Layla wants to order this Bissell Little Green Bissell trademark, Little Green trademark, cordless multi-purpose portable deep carpeted upholstery cleaner car and auto detailer with 25-volt lithium-ion battery 3682. Amazon. But it is pretty cool. It's this little cute mini vacuum sucky, you know, what they use in detailing shops when they'll clean seats with, and it uses a wet cleaner that it runs it through the seat and then immediately sucks it back up. One of those, which I would fucking love to own one of those. So I'm super excited. Amazon has it on a deal. It's usually like $220. Amazon has it on a deal for $150. I don't know when we're going to get it. Not yet, but very excited to do that. My seats have a bunch of stains on them. Going to make them look brand new. I'm excited. Gonna get a funnel. I don't have a funnel. I need to change my oil diesel. I wish that'd be fucking funny, a diesel Prius. Which honestly, the efficiency of diesel in like big equipment, surprising. Skid steers are pretty efficient with their diesel, I'll be honest. Anyway, I'm getting a basic ratchet set. I don't have one. Well, I do have one, but I've lost so much of it and it's old and it was never mine to begin with. It's just kind of shitty. I would like a proper one. So I'm getting a proper drive ratchet set. Specifically, I found this little set for $20 that has a, what was it? Was it 1532? Hold on. 21 millimeters. It was 15/16 socket and the 24 millimeter. Maybe it's 22 millimeter. I'm still trying to familiarize myself with all of this. But none of these drive socket sets, like there's a lot of on Amazon, there's a lot of beginner tool sets, which look great, but none of them contain a 15/16 socket or a 24 millimeter and maybe a 22 millimeter. And I don't know why. But the reason I need that is because to remove the oil filter on a Prius, they are infamous for being extremely hard to remove. Like they just will not come off. And they're also very infamous for having a proprietary tool to pull them off too that Toyota manufactures. There's a lot of solutions out there on the internet, adapters that you can buy, but a lot of them just don't work very well, or they break, or the fitment isn't just right, so it doesn't really cling onto the oil filter, so you can't unscrew it very well. But I found through a bunch of research, basically the OEM tool they use, it's not, but it's a steel cast version of it that fits like a charm and everybody seems to like it. But to attach it to a drive ratchet, you need 15/16 attachment or 24/22 millimeters. I don't remember which one. But none of the kits came with that I needed, so that's why I had to find a kit with that. But I'm very happy with the one I found. So I have that in the list. I also have the actual filter, the physical filter that goes inside on the list, the gasket that you need for the 10 millimeter when you take off your oil at the bottom. Have some gloves, some little neoprene, nitrile, whatever, disposable black gloves, a little tiny, real thick plastic oil catch can that holds about, I think it was 6 quarts. The Prius, I believe, takes 4.4 quarts is what it holds. Oh, my phone. That's my camera. My camera is going off with an alarm. Hold on. Wait for it. I'm using Windows Phone Link to unlock your device. Okay, hold on. Stop. I got it. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. We lost our theme to chat. Are we back? Oh no. Oh no, technical difficulties. I didn't realize that getting a notification would fuck up our camera somehow. Let's figure out if we can fix that. Hello. Okay, we're back. That was funny. And like that, I did that all from my computer, never even touched my phone. That's super cool. I kind of love it. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I've been rambling for way too long. Last thing is probably I needed a way to jack my Prius up. Dude, I went to Harbor Freight. I paid like $100 2 years ago for a nice like NASCAR Daytona style jack that you see everywhere. Came with some jack stands. It was a nice kit, and I fucking left it at my house when I moved out, and I could punch myself for it because it was really nice. I sure wish I had it, but I don't. That shit's gone. I'm never getting that back. So, cheapest ramps I could find on Amazon were $27.99, and I don't love ramps, and I don't have tire chocks, but you know, gotta start where we can start. They do not have good height on them either. I mean, they look like they're maybe 2 or 3 inches off the ground, but we don't need much for changing the oil, so we're just going to work with it. But yeah, the other ramps that I found, which were like a good foot off the ground, they wanted like $70 for some plastic fucking ramps. That's crazy. No, thank you. Anyway, that's it for all the stuff that I've been interested in getting. Couple other things, and we'll be done here. And the rest of it's just going to be this car stuff. So if you're not interested in that, bro, you're good to go. Like, get the fuck out of here, Kyle. I'll see you next time, dude. Like, give me some skin, dude. Like, haha. But Jesus, 142. I mean, an hour 42 minutes. Yeah, we're recording today. The TPMS sensors in my tires have gone bad, or at least one of them. I doubt they've ever been replaced. So that's annoying, but I don't have a tire machine, and it's a pain in the ass to try to get them off without one. So eventually, if I can afford it, which it's stupid how much they charge to replace these things, but if I can afford it, I'll replace them. I probably won't, though. All TPMS sensors do is read your tire pressure. So when they don't work, you just always have a tire pressure light on your dash. It just never goes away. Usually it will blink when it turns on, and then for like after 30 seconds to a minute, it'll just be solid, and that is your indicator that your TPMS sensors are gone. It is what it is. I have a fancy ass DeWalt air compressor in my trunk, and I check my tires. I give them a once look over every time I get in my car in the morning. So I'm a mechanic in training, so you know, it's fine. I mean, not actually a mechanic in training, but you know what I mean. So I'm not worried about it. If I can ever replace it easily at some point and I have an opportunity, I will, but it's whatever. Dash cam. I want a fucking dash cam, dude. I've been watching dash cam videos recently with Layla, and I have so much shit that goes on in these fucking Florida roads. I almost slipped up there. The place where I live is fucking horrible for driving. Everybody's terrible at driving in Florida, just like they are in most states. But it's especially bad here. And I lived in Georgia, in the Atlanta area, so I know bad drivers. But it's fucking worse here. So I really want a dash cam, just because I think it would be fun to clip all the bullshit that I see, but also because it's very useful and important to have. So I am looking at the Garmin Mini 2. It's real tiny. It's like literally like, I think that big. Like, What's a good comparison? Like maybe 2 or 3 inches long and like maybe an inch wide. Like it's tiny. Suctions cups to your glass on your windshield. And it's pretty cool. You can put an SD card in it. I think it can hold up to 500 something gigabyte SD card. And it's a modern system, so you can have it do a lot of quality of life features, which I don't know. I never really thought about modern dash cams, but it's pretty cool. You can put a SIM card in it. I don't think you can actually. That's a different one. But it has Wi-Fi connectivity. So if your car has Wi-Fi or if it's parked near Wi-Fi, it has a companion phone app, which will let you watch a live stream of it. Or it has bump detection where if it thinks your car got hit in any way, even if somebody just punched it, it'll clip that video and immediately upload it to the cloud where you can see that, pull from the cloud and view all your videos from the phone app. So as long as it has a Wi-Fi connection, it will do that. A lot of cool stuff like that. Voice activation. You're like, okay, Garmin, clip that shit. And then it'll save the last minute or whatever. Pretty cool. Dash cams have come a long way since the last time I heard about them. So that's pretty cool. New rims, probably not. Probably not. It's a Prius. I briefly heard that getting nicer aluminum rims can increase your miles per gallon, but I think what they were talking about was dropping from 17 to 15s, depending on your model. But I have not been able to find any proof whatsoever that just getting different aluminum rims will increase your miles per gallon. That's what they said, but I haven't found anything about that. Maybe it's true. It is objectively true if you're dropping down a size from 17 to 15s, but that's just in the nature of bigger rims. There is talk of certain wheels, actual rubber tires. There are certain tires that require less resistance that can technically increase your ability to roll and therefore your miles per gallon slightly, but I'm not willing to pay for expensive tires for a slight gain in MPG. I need a new front bumper because I was coming home at 3:40 a.m. when I used to work overnights at Home Depot. Coming home on the freeway, 4 or 5 lane freeway, not a single car on the road except for me. Everything's lit up eerily perfect. And what I think was a rabbit, or a hare to be precise, saw me coming it's a straight line freeway for probably multiple minutes, maybe even 5. Like, you can see a car coming. You know, hares are, they basically have human brains. And they're like, oh, I better cross the road now so I don't get in the way of this driver. They do think like that, But I'm the only one out on the road doing like 70, 75 at 3:40 a.m. And this hare apparently waited until the exact second where I'm like, he waits until the last possible second where I could hit him and then sprints in a straight line in front of my car. There's no one else on the road. He could have crossed at any point, but waited exactly till I came by to do so, which is just, I still don't know if it was a hare. I think it was. I couldn't swerve because I'm going 70 and I was tired. And the second I saw it, I was like, well, can't do anything. And ba-bump, ba-bump. The second I hit it, I just hear and I went, oh, fuck. Pull over, completely cracked my bumper into 2 pieces. And it was bouncing off the fucking road, dragging. Don't know where the rabbit went or whatever it was. Never saw any trace of it. It was definitely dead. No way it survived that. But it was gone. I think I launched that shit all the way off the freeway. But I didn't know what to do because I couldn't drive it like that. It was scraping the ground. So I was resourceful as I could and cut a strip of some material I just had in the car and just tied it. I tied it to the steel frame of the car, and I have never replaced it. That's over a year ago now, and that shit, I think the way I tied it, by chance, I did not do it on purpose. I think I accidentally tied a self-tightening knot because it has only got tighter and tighter. And like, I couldn't take it off if I wanted to. I'd have to cut it. I don't have another choice, which is fine. But I mean, it's held up through storms, rain, which is the same fucking thing. I'm so smart. It's held up through everything. Car washes. So if it was going to break, I think it would have. So for now, it's staying on there. And whenever I can afford a new bumper, I will do that. I don't like changing bumpers. It's annoying. But anywhere I can find a bumper, they want like fucking $300 for it. And I don't, it'll make it look better. That's about it. So that's like last on my list. It does make the car look pretty shit, but I don't have $300 to throw in a cosmetic piece right now. So yeah, I would try to go to the junkyard and see if we could find one, but like, it's a Prius. There aren't many of them out here where I live either. Like, good luck finding a white Prius bumper in a junkyard. I don't even think I usually see Priuses in junkyards. I don't even know if EVs are allowed in junkyards, actually. They may not. So, I mean, it's not an EV, it's a hybrid, but I don't know if hybrids are even allowed. So, it's probably not an option. Unlucky. Very unlucky. That's it, dude. That's it. We're wrapping it up. That's it. We got to get to our questions. That section that you all know, come to know and love, which is... Yeah, dude. Question section. Talked about it before. I would check the email, but I know there's nothing there yet, especially with the little break that I went on. We'll take a look, though. And no, there is nothing. So here's what you can do during this question section. And by the way, like I talked about before, if I do start streaming these, doing these podcasts live, we'll save questions in the chat for this time at the end is when I'll answer them and, you know, maybe talk with people if they're here. Could be fun. But for now, question section, if you have comments, feedbacks, you want to cuss me out or just tell me how your day went, literally anything, you can send in a question. And here are the ways that you can do it. We have a Gmail set up for this specifically. If you prefer emails and you're an old fuck like I am, you can email that to NU-11 sectorpodcast@gmail.com. All that I ask in the subject line, you put whatever you want your name to be. Could be anything, dash podcast question. That's it. That's in the subject line. And then in the body of the email, write whatever you want. Send it in. I'll talk about it during this section. If you prefer it to do other ways, we can go to the subreddit, which is NU-11 sector. And there's a flair on there for a podcast question. There's also a flair on there for a YouTube question, which we'll also talk about on the YouTube videos or on here if you want me to. But you can make a post over there. I'll see it. You can join the Twitch chat when we stream these from now on. If I do that, we'll see. And we'll talk about it live, all that kind of shit. So catch me if you can. Send me some questions. It's that time. Fellers. Thanks for the immaculate vibes. Oh, one quick thing. This is kind of sad. I'm sure you're well aware if you've seen these on YouTube and stuff. I used to do a thing where I would do a little extra after credits scene for the video versions of the podcast, but with the new way that I'm recording that I described, it's not really feasible because that would mean I'd have to edit two versions like I always do. So those won't be a thing anymore that are at least exclusive. I might still do them, but they're not just going to be on one platform anymore. So that is a thing to think about. That's it, bro. Braz. Thanks for the immaculate vibes for hanging with me. And I'll catch you in 2 weeks from now, dude. As always, you can find the audio version of this podcast on Spotify, Pocket Cast, and many other places. The video version of this podcast is on my second channel, which is NU-22. And we may or may not be streaming this live on Twitch from now on when we record. If you'd like to find out when we're doing that, and including all of my other content that I do, go ahead and join that Discord, buddy. It's called the Null Sector Discord. I actually don't know. There's a link. There's a link. And all my stuff, there's a link. Go join. Keep up to date on all my shit. I'll get notified. You can get some roles and know when we're going live and shit like that. Keep an eye out for all my other forms of content everywhere. Main YouTube channel, NU-11, Null. My Twitch, NU_11 official. TikTok, pretty much everywhere else is just some variation of that. So check you guys out. Gotta get on your way. Gotta get out of here. And catch you next time. It's been a pleasure. See you next Monday. Love y'all. Peace out, boys and grills and everyone in between. See you later. Bye-bye. See you later. Bye-bye.